I know what it feels like. We've been running around this island just randomly without having to do any story. Well, you're definitely right. Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Sonic Frontiers. Doesn't mean we're gonna stop it, though. Yeah, it's like I say, did I stutter? We ain't stopping. We're not stopping until, you know, any semblance of sanity is left me. Because I'm crazy, man. I'm a crazy, crazy boy. Oh boy, this Tetris puzzle. Okay. I have a feeling that, well, I go from bottom to top, and I guess yellow would be first. See, this is what I mean, like, letting the players just figure out things. This is what I mean. Like, I like the fact that they just let you just figure this stuff out. Like a regular person. Like, just like a regular being. Like, huh? What? I have to actually use my brain? I gotta actually use a brain? You know? I'm just saying. I'm just saying, letting the players figure out things is good. It's very good, in fact. Oh. Okay, so it was yellow, blue, then black, then purple, I guess. Let's see if that does it. That it do. It's kind of confused for a second. Ah! Okay, okay, I think I got it. I was supposed to go from bottom to top, so I think this is yellow, purple, black, blue, then finally white. Yes! Yes! Did it! I'm a genius! I'm a crazy genius man. I'm a crazy genius man. Who can also sing and dance. Oh, when did the Saints come marching in? Okay. Man. The first great, you know, Amy performance in the modern era. Okay, now this one, okay. This puzzle is unique, then. So, it all has to do with reflecting the mirrors, basically. Is that it, I think? I think that's it. Yes, I think. And then you have to go just, yeah, direct it upwards. That was unique. Yeah, I mean, it's a basic light puzzle, but it's way more simple than the Uranos Island one where it was like, you know, the turning pillars or whatever. Yeah, the turning pillar puzzle. That was way simpler than that one. Easily. Which is true facts. I'm gonna destroy another caterpillar over here. There we go. Easy and simple and easy. Now, I'll definitely admit something. This track has been on Uranos this entire time. Once you get enough Chaos Emeralds, then the island theme will change. This is basically the only time in Uranos this ever happens, but this does change into the main theme of the Starfall Islands, and personally, I think it's a really good one. And it perfectly describes these islands very well, as these being very mysterious, very nice islands. Whenever we get an opportunity to listen to it, I will let you listen to it. In fact, I think I'm gonna do it right now. And there it is. That's the theme of the Starfall Islands right there. And it's interesting because this song technically appeared before in the game. It was actually used as the second movement of Kronos Island. It's just now we get a more complete version of that, if that makes any sense. Yeah, this version definitely feels a lot more complete, where it has a lot more instrumentation. And that's about it. It just has more instrumentation, that's about it. But sometimes, that's really all you need. Chaos Island, I don't know about Iceland's seventh movement. Yes, sir. That's the night challenge, which still stinks. But what can you do? Yeah, what can you do about, you know, video game mechanics? Am I right, fellers? You can't just mod them out. Except you probably can, but it would probably take like an actual wizard genius in rocket science to actually do that. Ooh, they're going crazy. This time you need 3 portal gears. Ooh. Yeah, they're really stepping up their game here when you've already had like millions of opportunities to get portal gears from the fishing alone. Like, seriously. They really just do, it's just really tough out in the streets. Sky Sanctuary. Again, except this time, it's actually the original Sky Sanctuary from Sonic and Knuckles. Yeah, I don't know how they could have, I don't know why they included it. Well, actually, they do, because, well, this place is technically ruined, so it does make sense. 4-9. Technically the last cyberspace stage in order if you decide to do that. And this one, fittingly enough, in 4-9 is City Escape. Can't just you know, for some Sonic fans it just isn't the same without Sonic you know, crashing into vehicles. So yeah, this stage is basically the beginning, is basically City Escape. Well, sometimes, well, it takes inspiration from City Escape. I don't know if it's, well, actually no, because, yeah, actually no, because we've had a City Escape stage before. It was one of the earlier island ones. I think I'm just gonna reset because I know I'm not gonna do good on time. I mean, parts of it take influence from City Escape, definitely. Like this skateboarding where you're just crashing into vehicles. I don't know why I can't say cars. But yeah, no. Other than that, I really don't know what this could be, what stage this could be at the top of my head, though. I know it's 3D, so it's obviously going to be a good one. Yeah, you know you got a good stage when it's in 3D. And I don't know why I couldn't have gotten that one. Now, the Ringle here is probably one of the harder ones to get, actually. Because you need 120 rings in order to actually pass this, in order to complete that particular objective. I was about to be like, okay, watch me. I'm gonna do that all in one go. I'm gonna get 120 rings all in one go, and nobody can stop me. But it turns out that I just didn't. Yet another example of how cyberspace stages can be fun. And that one actually had a pretty good concept. Like, skateboarding and everything. Been a part of Sonic lore, so it's lore friendly. And we all know we like lore-friendly things. So, it technically counts as being part of the big-ass Sonic lore that we're all very much used to by now. Where Sonic skateboards off of digital seascapes. As we all know. Again, very lore-friendly. Okay, so there are a few memory tokens to get here because we'll definitely need a lot of them based on how the side stories go. And yeah, this is basically kind of sort of the point where you can just technically just get all the memory tokens that you need from Big. Because, well, what's to stop you? You can basically get an unlimited supply of memory tokens, like, right at this moment. In fact, you got 51, well, I have 51, big fishing adventure tokens. So, for all intents and purposes, I can just go ahead and just keep on fishing before I get the max amount of fish all the fish that I could ever need. But again, that's not necessarily well, it is my style, actually. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm gonna have to be really careful here. Because thankfully, while there is a drop shadow, I'm gonna have to rely on platforming skills here. Like I always have. Okay. Get all that in. This is a fixed camera angle, by the way. And don't know why I stopped there, but I did. You know, I'm about to go on record and say, y'all Yeezy, bro. This is Yeezy. Yeezy sauce. And bada bing. Could they really have gotten more types of cocoa? Yeah, new types of new cocoa rather than just top hat and whatever and blah blah blah. Yeah, top hat, whatever, and blah blah blah. My favorite types of cocoa, actually. Okay, so I think I kept you waiting on the story long enough. Like, I know we've been just filling out maps and everything. We've been doing all this stuff. But I feel like now's the point where I can actually just feel safe to just keep on going along with the story here. So, let's continue on.
I believe you can proceed once you find a way to activate the starting device and power the statue.
Sure would have been smoother sailing if we'd been working together from the start, but... well, I guess I had to earn your trust first, huh?
Do you know how to activate the starting device?
I've figured out everything else up until now, haven't I? Don't sweat it.
We activate it by looking at it, clearly. Create a bridge to continue on. Now, once again, I would like you to remember this following segment very clear in your mind. Keep it going. Make sure that you ingrain this into your very soul. Just do it, man. I command you. I want you to do it. I want you to do it. By the way, it's basically it's basically no stuff saying that these get harder and harder. So now you gotta actually pay attention. Once again, ingrain this stuff into your mind. And by the way, you have 2 attempts always, by the way. You have 2 attempts of clearing the hacking missions. Fail both times and you'll have to start all over from the beginning. Basically, you have lives.
The way is clear. We must acquire the Chaos Emeralds with expediency.
You got it, Sage. We've run into each other so many times, but I only recently learned your name. You could have told me sooner, you know.
We were enemies. Furthermore, my name holds no meaning.
Well, sure it does. Eggman named you that for a reason. That means you're important to him.
You think he cares about me?
Well, sure. In his own way. Hey, time's a-wasting. Let's wrap this up.
I like the way that Sonic says, in his own way. Like, I really like how he just says that under his breath like that. Like, I mean, you gotta understand that Sonic and Eggman have been at odds with each other since, you know, ever. And even though they've had to work together a whole bunch of times, they could technically still be at each other's throats at any given point in time. That's the point where you gotta understand. That's the point where you gotta understand. Either way, while we get this next part of Oranos out of the way, which you do need to, which, by the way, you do need to get the bridge activated in order to move on here to this part, is, well, I guess while we're just going through this, I might as well tell you about, you know, unused things, because there are definitely a lot of unused things that really could have helped out. So, it's all just little things, like unused dialogue or whatever. I'm not sure if they are in the game, or if they, or if it went unused, and even if they could possibly be in the game, then it's just really hard to find. But Sonic Frontiers has a lot of dialogue that can relate to other characters too. Well, Sonic actually mentions other characters as he goes through some of these islands. Like, he mentions, like, at a point he mentions, well, basically I know these are in the game. Because at one point on Kronos Island, he does mention Tangle from the comics. And that's when everyone's like, "Holy shit, IDW!" Like, he mentions that, but I think he also mentions Rouge, Shadow, Blaze, Zavok. He mentions a whole bunch of characters. In fact, I'll probably leave a video in the description of this particular video, if I remember. That goes over these dialogue things. You really gotta thank YouTuber Faz, or just Faz. I don't know which channel it is, but it's one of them that basically cataloged these little dialogue moments. So you gotta thank them for that. And not thank him for that. Another thing that's dialogue, and I know it's unused, and I know for a fact that this is unused, is Rhea Island actually had another layer to it that really could have made it interesting if it wasn't cut, probably for time. At some points on Rhea Island, Sonic was actually meant to say stuff as he was shutting down all those towers before letting in the big, bad, mysterious voice in there. And it actually sounded like he was really desperate. He was really desperate just to save his friends. Yet another portion about his character is that not only does he have unwilling determination to save his friends, but the voice actually uses that to his own undoing, or to his own detriment, as he just goes around these towers that he doesn't know what they'll do, but the voice assures him that it'll make his friends safe and sound. And at one point, and I think this is in the game according to a comment, if you stand around in like a specific spot, I believe, then Sonic will say something to the effect of, "I'm so cold and numb." It's like, that is really something, and it goes along with the whole thing about Sonic just being like, I gotta keep going. I gotta save my friends. And at one point, I think it was actually planned that Sonic would lose his sense of self too. Where certain dialogue would have been like, what was I doing? I gotta do this. Who am I? Or something like that. It's something to the effect of that, and that's really disturbing. Like, that voice is egging him on to do that, and this corruption is getting worse. And he just needs to do this, and he just feels like he needs to do this. 2 seconds! He just feels like he needs to do this. By the way, I don't know which stage this is off the top of my head, but it's a long one. It's one of the long ones, with multiple pathways indeed. And, yeah. I feel like that could have been really interesting to put into the game. It could have been really... Rhea Island could have hit differently. That Sonic would just say those things. Just by saying those things, it would have added, like, something to the end portion. But for whatever reason, it was cut, and we don't know why that is. So, it's definitely something that would have been interesting, but again, and my defense, and also this will forever be my defense, it is what it is. Now I gotta find the second red ring and hopefully, possibly, you know, make it... There it is. Make it in time. Okay. There we go. Managed to get that one A-okay. And unfortunately, I think we're out of time for this one. At least we made a little bit more progress than usual because, well, I just can't stop. Won't stop making progress. Just like I always do. We'll just do this last panel puzzle before we go on our separate ways here today. And that will be about it. Alright, so I'll see you guys on the next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.